The place she chose was quiet in a way Andrei didn't trust. Autumn-tot hidden, neutral. A small cafe near the river, glass walls, soft light, the kind of place where people came to look normal while carrying complicated lives. The kind of place her father would approve of, public enough to feel safe, discreet enough to control. Dre arrived first. He chose a table near the window, back straight, hands wrapped around a cup of coffee he hadn't touched. His reflection in the glass looked sharper than usual, like the edges of him had hardened under pressure. She arrived didn't. T smiled right away. She took off her coat slowly. Down across from he studied his face. You look tired, she said. Andrea let out a quiet "F." That obvious, AE replied, to someone who knows you. That line almost broke him. Maud flagged at work, he said without preempt ventry issue. Issing ita. Cameras glitched. Her eyes narrowed slightly. And they think it was you? I say it out loud, Andrea replied. They just adjust my access, like trust is a privilege they can revoke. She nodded slowly. That's how it works, she said. Suspicion doesn't need proof, just convenience. He looked at who sound like your father. Did he flinch? I grew up watching Systems, she said. You learn their language. They sat in silence for a moment. You dry ask how are you? She hesitated. My father knows we're talking again, she said finally. Driss' jaw tightened. That was fast. He gave a humorless smile. He has people, she said, and instincts. Does that bother you? Dre asked. Reminder, he wasn't supposed to ask questions like that anymore. AE replied honestly, but it also makes things clearer. Andrea waited. Dosi forbid, he continued. He never does. He just creates conditions. Dry nodded. I know how that feels, he said. He leaned forward slightly. He asked me something today, she said. Off you. Worth the inconvenience. Dre almost laughed. Ha. Emmy asked quietly. She looked at him for a long moment. I don't know yet, she said. That's why I'm here. At honesty was dangerous. Before Andrea could respond, a bell above the cafe door chiming, a man walked in. Andrea noticed him immediately, not because he was threatening, but because he didn't belong. Wrong posture, wrong eyes, the kind that scanned instead of looking. The man ordered coffee, then sat 2 tables away. Andrea felt his stomach tighten. Oh, she noticed his shift in focus. I asked. He lowered his voice. Oh, you know that. He glanced casually, then looked back. No, she said. Why? Because not here for coffee, Andrea replied. She followed his gaze again. Or carefully, this tired face changed, just slightly. Stay calm, she said quietly. Don't react. I'm calm, Andrea replied. He wasn't lying. He was alert. There was a difference. Her phone buzzed. Glanced at it. Put it fast, our father, she said softly. Andrea didn't ask what the message said. He already finished their drinks without speaking much more. Not because there was nothing to say, but because the room felt suddenly crowded with consequences. They stood to Leah. Man stood too, not following. Standing. Andrea felt the moment lock into place like a camera shutter. Click. Sire, night air hit them cold and sharp. I didn't plan the said quickly, I swear. I know, Andrea replied, but now it exists. She nodded. Sorry, said I. Don. Want you pulled into this? Andrea met her eyes. I already am, he said. I just don't know where it ends. He reached for his hand and stopped herself. That's the probably, said Don. No either. They parted without a kiss, without promises, not heavier this tie. Her father received the photo 10 minutes later, Dre and his daughter standing outside the cafe, close enough to imply intimacy, far enough to deny it. Her father studied the image without emotion. He asked, by the river. A voice reply. Her father nodded once, no action. See it yet, on the board. Her father's eyes hardened slightly. Learning what proximity costs us, he said. Let us see if he's still interested. Andrea didn't. He go home right away. Walked. Past the river, past streets he'd learned to avoid, past places where his old self used to feel powerful. His phone buzzed, unknown number. He ignored it, buzzed again. He stopped walking and answered. Andrea? Familiar, voice so familiar, his chest tightens. Who is this? He asked, even though he knew. Don't play, the voice replied. We know each other. Dre closed his eyes briefly. What do you want? He asked. Opportunity, the voice said lightly. Who looks stressed? Andrea laughed once, without humor. Been watching, everyone watches. A voice reply, especially when someone is slipping. Andrew's grip tightened on the phone. I'm not interested, he said. A voice chuckled on. Say a leaked, said didn't T say dangerous. Just fast. Andrew's mind flashed to the bills, to the demotion, to Max shaking at the courthouse, to Sari sitting in a parked car near the edge of his past. How fast, he asked. The reminding thought landed immediately. This is the moment. Enough to cover gaps. A voice reply on run clean cash. Andrew stopped walking. Why me, he asked. A pause. Because he trusted, the voice said, and desperate enough to listen. Andrew felt the insult hit home. Lel, think about it. See, a voice smiled through the phone. That's all I ask, it replied. I'll call tomorrow. A line went. Dendry stood there. Art pounding, not with excitement, but with something worse. Temptation without desire. He hated that more than fear. Axe stared at his visage open, fingers hovering, unknown. Till available night. Cash. Max thought of Andrew's voice, all befought after. He closed his eyes, opened them, and did something that felt humiliating and necessary. He called Andrew straight to voicemail. Axe swallowed hard. Hey, he said quietly into the phone, it's me. I'm not okay. Call me back, please. He ended the call and threw the phone onto the bed like it might bite. He sat in his car again. Different street, same feeling. A building in front of him was the one from before, but it was close enough to remind him of who he used to be. A man leaned into the open window. You back? The man asked casually. Ari looked at Hio. A man smiled. Everyone comes back. Sari shook his head. Otanai replied, not ever. The man's smile faded. Making it harder than it needs to be said. Sari met his eyes. He replied. Need it hard enough to remember. He started the engine and drove away before the man could say more. The first Ari felt proud and terrified at the same time. Andrea returned home close to midnight. His mother was asleep. The apartment was quiet. His phone lit up with a missed call from Max and a message from the unknown number paths. Speedun promised relief. The other promised pain but survival. Dre sat on the edge of his elbows on knees, head in hands. He thought of the courtroom, the store shelf, the cafe window. Of his friends balancing on edges that cut. He picked up the phone to answer the offer. A call Max answered on the first ring, voice breaking with relief. Hey, Andrew said. I got you. Talk to me. I talked for an hour, faxing anything. Ust not fully, and the call ended. Dre stared at the seal, exhausted and empty. The unknown number buzzed again. Did he answer? He turned the phone face down. Mona, he didn't. He didn't lose himself either. And that barely was enough.